because I felt all of this negative emotion and I was not very optimistic on anything, the only thing that was ever brought to light was the bad experiences I was having. I guarantee I had a ton of good experiences, but I never talked on them. I never thought about them because I was stuck in a negative mindset.
Transmission received. Authorization granted. Welcome to the video.
What's up, dreamers? Hope you're having a fantastic day or had a fantastic day, depending on where you are in the world. And I have to let you know that you are awesome. Welcome to Driving and Vibing. What's the vibe today? Before we get into the vibes, I just want to say I had to turn my car in and get a loaner vehicle, so that's why the camera's all a little wibbly wobbly, and I am unable to link it to the car, so I choose not to. So the sound may be different. I think it's okay from what I tested out, but I'm not entirely sure. I apologize in advance, but I think it'll be all right. Welcome to Driving and Vibing. What's going to be the vibe today? Woo! I would like to talk about being optimistic. That may have actually been really loud. I apologize. I forgot about the whole no microphone thing. Being optimistic, a good mindset, and, you know, positivity, right? Just being in a good mood, generally speaking, and, you know, eliminating negativity. Now, I find this ultra valuable and ultra important because holding on to a good mindset, having a positive mindset, being optimistic, will overall increase your mood, like your overall mood. When you are stuck in a negative mindset and you know, kind of a negative, and you're not as optimistic, and everything kind of feels like it's out to get you, and you know, the real highlights of your day are the bad things that happened, whether it's to you or in the world, which is why I don't really watch the news. It tends to bring, you know, an overall bad mood, a bad mindset. It will increase stress. Let's move this. It'll increase stress, like unneeded stress. Your cortisol will kind of rocket. Your cortisol being your stress hormone. There's a lot of things that go on inside your body on a chemical level that will happen. Hormonal changes, and it's not necessarily good stuff, right? So we want to try to stay optimistic as much as possible. There are times where I'm generally optimistic, but there are times where I question it sometimes, but overall I'm pretty optimistic, and I try to keep a positive mindset throughout everything. There are times where, you know, obviously it's very hard for that to happen, but that's life, right? In general, majority of the time you want to try to be positive, and that will help your overall mood. That will help you enjoy activities more, enjoy life, your friends, your family, whatever it may be you're doing. Maybe you're playing video games. It'll help you enjoy video games more. If you go in and play a video game and if you are stuck in kind of a negative mindset and you're invited to play video games, or you want to go play video games, and then you start playing those games, your mindset's going to carry into those games. So the first thing that happens to you that it doesn't go the way that you thought it was going to or planned on having it happen is going to derail your fun and you know, the excitement of that game, and you're going to be on kind of a downward spiral from there. Not because the game itself is not something you enjoy, but because you went in with a negative mindset. Your mind was already made up that whether you realize it or not, your mind was already made up that any activity you're going to proceed forward with is not going to be the most enjoyable. And I think that's a powerful thing to understand for people to, you know, look at on a daily basis, is that the mind is very, very powerful. If you think something long enough, the mind's going to fully believe it's true. I've said this in another video, but one of the things is, if you think you're sick, if you walked around and said, I have a headache, I have a headache, I have a headache, and you really didn't, let's say you're using that as an excuse to get out of doing things. It happens. Like, people, maybe you don't want to, you know, meet up with somebody one day, or you really don't want to do some sort of physical activity, or you just tell yourself that because you don't want to do your physical activity. Maybe you continuously tell yourself you have a headache, even if you don't. Eventually, the mind is so powerful that you will start to get a headache. You'll start getting these headaches because you think you're saying that you have a headache. So your mind and body will think that it actually does have a headache, and it will create one, because that's how powerful the mind is. Now, that is a very, take that with a grain of salt, that individual variances happen, of course, and that is a very kind of broad example of what it can do. But after time, the mind will work its magic. It kind of is magic. So being positive and just being optimistic, I feel, is such a powerful tool. And again, it's easier said than done, but and because when I was growing up, and I understand that, right? So I just cut myself off, but now I'm gonna go back to it. When I was growing up, I'm still growing up. Everybody's growing up. When I was younger, in my younger years, I thought the world was out to get me. Nothing was going my way. Nothing ever was going to go my way. I was just stricken with bad luck. I mean, I was the bad luck. I was the bad luck guy. Like, nothing good was going to happen. And because of that, this is what I truly believe, and what is kind of scientifically and studied, it's backed up here, is that because I felt all of this negative emotion and I was not very optimistic on anything, the only thing that was ever brought to light was the bad experiences I was having. I guarantee I had a ton of good experiences, but I never talked on them. I never thought about them because I was stuck in a negative mindset. And when you kind of reverse that and you start thinking about the good things that are going on, oopsies, you think about the good things that are going on, and in the positive light, and the geez Louise, son, can't do that. And you think about just you're more, and you allow yourself to be more optimistic, then you will start to actually where is the sun at? Right here. There we go. You will start to actually feel and realize and think about those activities, or whatever it may be, that are on the positives in your life, and it'll start to fade away the negatives, right? And your overall mood and mindset will improve regardless of what the situation is. This can happen in life, in your professional life, in your just everyday social life. It can happen in gaming. Your mindset's very, very, very powerful. Being optimistic is very powerful. And I'm not saying that you cannot be, I'm not saying you can't be upset, you can't have a negative mindset some days, you can't, you can't not be optimistic. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, overall, in general life, the positivity and the positive mindset is a powerful tool to keep motivation going, to succeed in life and whatever goals you may have. And I mean, obviously, right? Because if let's say you're negative, let's say you want to get a promotion at work, or you want to get that A+ in school, but you continuously, let's say that's what you want, but you keep saying that you're not going to get it, it's going to be significantly harder than, even if it's not harder, but it's going to be significantly harder and feel harder, and it's going to bring more stress than if you were to say, I will achieve this. Like, I'm going to achieve this. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. And if I do not get that promotion, if I do not get the A+, that's okay too. I worked hard. I worked hard at it. There's a good example at two very different mindsets and looking at it two different ways, right? And I cannot stress how important and how powerful of a tool I think this is. I said that a million times. I'll say it a million more. I don't even care if I'm repeating myself at this point. But yeah, cool stuff and things. I'm gonna cut the video there so we don't drag this out any longer. I feel like the sun has not worked to my advantage in this video at all. I hope it sounds okay. And I'm thinking maybe eventually I'll get a microphone that I can wear on my vest here, so that we don't have to worry about the car sounds and all of this and that. So if you like what you saw or heard, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any tips or tricks that you utilize yourself that maybe I can use or share with the world, that would be fantastic. There's nothing I can do about the sun. I would love to hear them. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I hope to see everybody in the next video. Later, dreamers.